Yo, what's good, guys? KosherTech here. So today we got something different, something new. Actually, this is from ID-Cooling. This is their ICEFLOW 240 VGA, basically your graphics card AIO. So for all you cats out there who, your GPU is running at some crazy amount of heat, or if you just want to just make it basically water cooled and you want to overclock it, this is the option over here that ID-Cooling is offering. You cop this on Amazon for like, I want to say $1.30, coupons $1.10. So anyways, so all that good stuff, essentially this is what it does. Now it does not come in white, it only comes in black. So you have the actual, the shroud over here. And inside that there's a copper basically cooling it. And this is the AIO itself with the fans which comes with it. Now it works with Aura, Gigabyte Fusion, MSI Mystic Light, and ASRock Polychrome. Advanced pump design, super cooling performance, synchronization with the motherboard, stylus, premium sleeve tubing, universal compatibility, and easy installation. Now we're going to talk about which cards it actually does support. ICEFLOW, I mentioned that. Now the literature in the back, I got to say, is pretty fire. Everything's basically broken down here. We have measurements and whatnot. Radiator designs. We have speeds, pump speeds. We have 6,500 RPM. Noise level, basically. Everything's broken down for you guys. Just pause it and check it out. We got fans included, different speeds from 800 to 2,500 RPM, max airflow. Now for GPU compatibilities, this is not compatible from what they're saying here with the RTX 3000 series cards, only with 2000 series cards. We got AMD VEGA 56 and 64. We got GTX 10 series. We got AMD RX 200 and 300 and GTX 1600 series. Now, it does say on their website that it also supports, and because I have an RX 590, it supports an RX 580 and 590. So I will be trying to install this with an RX 580 and 590. If that's not going to work, I'll just use a 20 series RTX card. But anyways, I gotta say the packaging is really fire. Let's check it out. Let's unbox this bad boy. See how this goes. We have a nice instructional guide over here. Of course, as I always gotta say, made in China. Anyways, wow, this is what I'm saying, man. Premium look. All right, this is what I'm saying. I don't gotta get that presentation, dropping that Corsair tax, or dropping that Asus tax, or dropping that, MSI tax, or that ASRock tax, or Cooler Master tax. Like, you don't got to, man. Like, ID-Cooling, bruh, you guys are killing me with your beautiful presentation. We got the fans in here, I believe. No, we have some stuff in here. I hear some stuff in here. Maybe it's mostly accessories. Oh, okay. So the fans are like this. So they didn't give us individual fans. We'll talk about this in a minute. We have the radiator itself over here, and the enclosure over here. All right, so let's quickly take a look at the installation guide. See how it's broken down. Okay, so everything is basically broken down how to install. Let's see what we got here. We got different RTX cards. We got AMD VEGA. We have NVIDIA 1080 series cards, 980 series cards, 650, 660, 680, 670, 760, 770, and 780. We got AMD RTX. Okay, so I was right. AMD RTX 5700 XT. 5600 XT, RX 580, and RX 590. We have GTX 1660. Yeah, GTX 1660, GTX 1660 Ti, AMD RX 570. All right, let me run that through one more time. We have RTX 2080, RTX 2070, RTX 2060, AMD VEGA 5664. We have GTX 1080. Man, I'm just going to put all that in the description below, man. It's going to be easier. But if you guys want to copy it, pause it. But it looks like from here, RX 590, 580 do actually work. And it actually gives you different mountings for these cards, which is dope. So if you are, let's say, using RTX 2080, you're going to have to use this mounting over here. If you're going to use a 5700 XT or 580 or 590, which in this case I am, I'm going to use this mounting over here. But everything else is nicely. I am going to show you guys basically how to install everything. We're going to do the installation guide and everything. But very nice instruction. Looks interesting, broken down. Which one should we do first? All right, let's do accessories. F that. All right, let's check out the accessories and whatnot quickly. All right, so we do have the thermal paste over here. We are going to use the ID Cooling thermal paste. We get over here, and basically we just have different daisy chain connectors over here. Very self-explanatory with these Chinese products, how to install everything. And I think these are the mounting brackets over here. Yeah, so please tell me they're labeled. Please tell me they're labeled. Let's see how they did everything. Heatsinks. Oh, shit. Yes. Yes. Yo, I'm so hyped. Yeah, boy. Yo, that's what I'm talking about, ID Cooling. All right, so everything, yo, let's go, man. Let's go. Let's go, bro. Let's go. I'm so hyped. My bad. Check it, yo. I'm feeling this right now, man. Everything is broken out. ID Cooling, let's go, man. We got different mounting holes, breakdown of, you know, different mounting holes, 64 millimeters and whatnot, applicable for VEGA 56 and 64 series. So I believe this is also compatible with RTX 580 and 590 from the booklet. Bro, let's go. Applicable with 10 series, 9 series cards. Let's go. Everything is like, look, man. Look at this. Let's go, man. Everything is broken down, guys. Everything. I love this. Yo, little things, man. Little things make it easier for me, the consumer, to install everything and make everything work. Applicable with RX 20 and 200 and 300 series cards. But basically, everything is broken down. I am feeling this. My bad, guys. I'm just hype right now. We got applicable with RTX 20 series cards, but everything is broken down. Very nice. We got what's this? Let's check out this. Yo, bro, I'm hyped right now, man. I'm just kidding. So we have little these are the little thermal pads over here, I want to say, right? Yeah, these are thermal pads over here. These are the thermal pads over here, I want to say. What's this? We got heat sinks over here. Okay, I gotta check out this. So basically, these are heat sinks over there. But anyways, let me just look through it and let's do the installation. I am so hyped, man. Let's put this away, guys. Here, let's put that away there. All right, let's take a look at this quickly. So basically, remember that I reviewed the Asia Horse Matrix. So essentially, this is the exact same thing. This is the cooler mask. I'm bugging. This is the ID Cooling version, but in this kind of form factor, in this kind of design. Just keep in mind, if one fan fails, you know, you got to replace the whole unit. If you do have some good fans laying around, you could just swap it. But in this, you know, in the video, I am going to be using these fans since we're testing it and whatnot. I want to see what the graphics card temps are going to be. So it is what it is. I mean, I wish they just gave us separate fans. I would prefer that, but I guess to save them cost, they did that. It is what it is on that sense. Man, yeah, I'll tell you this right now, man. With this unit is going to be a lot of wires, so make sure the wire management is going to be on point. Look, I mean, it'll be crazy, man. We got different SATA powers, these wires, that wires, but it's going to be absolutely insane. So we have the 240 mil radiator over here, the tubing, as you guys can see over here, and this is basically the shroud that's going to go onto your PCB, on, you know, your graphics card, quote unquote. Like I said, I'm going to show you guys the installation process in a sec. Basically, you're going to want to peel this you want to peel this plastic over here and just put the thermal. I'm going to show you guys. You can put the thermal paste. You're going to put the copper basically onto your GPU, and it's going to be, you know, voila. The fans here is going to basically, I believe, just for the VRMs to cool. That's simple. And the rad, I gotta say, is nice, man. It's a pretty dope rad. But anyways, let me just install. Yo, I am so flipping hype right now, guys. My bad. Yeah, so I guess let's just install everything. Let's go. All right, you guys, so check it out. We have a whole project going on over here. I guess let's start from left to right. So this is the RX Red Devil 590 cooler, and this is basically the PCB. This is the graphics card. So essentially what I did, as you guys can see, basically I just removed the cooler and I just have her basically here naked, you know what I'm saying, with the PCB exposed. Now, when you are going to essentially, let's say if you have the 590, you know, technically from their instructions, their coolers, this cooler preferably, what they say in their instructions, they want the MOSFETs on this side. So the MOSFET should be here like it is here on the RTX 2070 essentially. But you could still use this cooler, you could still use this GPU if you have the RX 590. The thing is, the shroud is just going to be a little over, so your PCB is going to essentially be naked. So that's the problem. That's why I really don't want to use the 590. But The 580 and 590 would be compatible, but if you just do put it, man, I don't know if everything's gonna go crazy. If you do put it, as you see here in camera, you see how it is? It's gonna be basically exposed like that, so it's gonna be a little too much. Now this, and I'll go over in a second with the cooler, but that's how it is. I just want to show you guys essentially. It does work, it could work, it'll just be a bit too exposed. So I should move this over here. Let's put that over there. Now with the, so I will be using the RTX 2070. Again, this is the Twin Frozer edition, the MSI one. Very beefy cooler. You guys could basically see over here. Now this is the PCB itself, and the GPU is basically right here. Now, as you can see, the MOSFETs, everything is here. The VRAM is hidden underneath the shield. I am going to keep the shield. I am also going to keep the back plate, which is pretty dope that you could use it with this cooler. So I'm going to show you guys right now basically how to install it. I do have I had thermal pads basically here. I am just going to keep these thermal pads on the MOSFETs. I am. So what you could also do is you could put these, you could put these heat sinks, they call them, these just plastic things, but I guess for the sake of the vid, I don't know if they're gonna do anything, but essentially what they say is you could just put them here, right how I am doing it, these heat sinks. I don't know what the heck they're gonna do, to be honest, but you know, I am curious. Let's put them on here. I guess when the fan is gonna be dissipating, I guess when the fan is going to be spitting, is going to be dissipating air, and that air is going to somehow cool it. I mean, if you guys know in the comments, let me know. You know, but anyways, in their instructions, they say basically to put it right here. And like I said, your VRAM, essentially your VRAM, since it's hidden here, I'm going to use this PCB as a reference. This is my VRAM. This is your VRAM. What's wrong? I can't speak today. This is your VRAM. So in your case, you would be doing the same thing. You're going to take this adhesive, this thermal pad, you're going to put it down, and then you're going to take this heatsink and you're going to put it. So here we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So since this is an 8 gig card, we have 8 VRAM port slots, or 8 VRAM. 8 VRAMs, right? I'm bugging. But anyways, you're gonna put 8 of them like that, and basically keep them moving. And the same thing you're gonna want to do here in the MOSFETs as well. So in this case, we're just doing them like that, like I guess like right here. So now, since this is all sticky and good to go, now what we could do is we could put the cooler. Listen, the install is a pain in the behind. I was like trying to figure this out myself. I was like, my God, it's a little too much. But anyways, I'm gonna move this away now. I wish I had more room in this table, but we gotta do what we gotta do. Then we're gonna take the cooler. Now with the cooler, I do want to say that my the standoffs, or these standoffs, or whatever you call them. So this one is for the RTX 2000 series cards. For some reason, measure it. I guess that's the best way to tell exactly. Measure the standoffs is, for me, essentially the 2000 series, the RX 2000 series was a little more compatible for this kind of PCB for some reason. So essentially how you have to install it is make sure to see basically which one is compatible. They say here that this is for your reference. Above mentioned GPU series are for your reference. So this is not like the exact amount. They just give you like a, you know, I guess the estimated measurements. You know, here's measure millimeters, just measure it and essentially see. But essentially what you want to do is, you see how there's a little arrow. You see there's a little arrow right here. What you're going to want to do now is you're going to basically put this in like this, right? And you're going to put it towards the arrow facing towards you. And it's a pain with this radiator. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna find my screwdriver, and the arrow facing, we're gonna put it in like this, and then we're gonna screw it on, which they give you screws with these regular screws. So you're gonna do that for both of them. So you're gonna screw them on. All right, so now since this one is screwed on, you're gonna do the same thing. The arrow is gonna be facing the copper heatsink. All right, so the copper, it's gonna be facing, so this arrow, right, again, it's gonna be facing it. So both arrows are essentially gonna be facing each other. All right, so then you're gonna do the same thing. All right, so now since that's screwed on, what you're gonna then want to do essentially is you're gonna just obviously, you know, you're gonna peel this, and then you're gonna put the thermal paste on your GPU chip, which is right over here, and then we're gonna install it. So then what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna take, I'm using the ID cooling thermal paste. So we're just gonna put some thermal paste. Oh man, that was a little too much. Put a little dippity dap on some dippity daps. I won't say it's a little too much. So don't put that much as what Kosher did. That thing just came out going, man. But anyways, what you then want to do is you're gonna flip it. Damn, I got thermal paste all over my hands. Best way to remove thermal paste is take isopropyl alcohol swabs, or basically rubbing alcohol. You could take vodka too, man, and just, you know, take it out. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have none of that available. But then we're gonna basically flip it. But before we flip that, I gotta get my screws. So you're gonna use these retention screws, right? These retention screws, you're gonna use these. I'm gonna show you cats in a minute. You're gonna use these retention screws right over here, and then you're gonna essentially install it. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip it like that. So now I gotta bring it in, guys, because I can't see a damn thing. Okay, the holes are lined up, and now essentially what we're gonna do now is just gonna screw it on. And that's it. And now the cooler is essentially installed. Do it like this. I don't want to break PCIe slot. And now essentially the cooler is basically installed. I don't know how you guys are going to see it from there. But what I want to show you guys, the cooler itself, you see these screws over here? These screws, you could essentially measure it. You could move it side by side. Now, since the card is long, this is how it's going to look. The PCB itself is really, really long. But when it's going to be installed in the rig, right, you're going to essentially see it. You're going to essentially see it, guys, you know, basically like that with the back plate. So it's not going to be too bad. Like, but I said, it's not a full water block. It's only a half water block. I believe the water block itself, well, the shroud, I keep going with the water block. The shroud itself is like 8.5 inches. I'll have the dimensions below. But essentially, this is how it's gonna basically look. And like I said, very important. My bad for not showing you guys this earlier, but the copper itself, you could unscrew these, and then you could essentially rotate it to basically best cover up the PCB. All right, even in their what do you call it? Even on Amazon, it basically says you could basically move it and adjust it. And that's it. That's how it is essentially is installed. Now, what you're gonna basically do is you're gonna plug all these connectors in, your ARGB connectors, and that's basically it. And you know, and then like I said, there's no difference. Now, what I want to show you guys, if look at the size difference. So, you know, make sure you do measure it. I mean, this would be a perfect if this PCB was basically natively supported by, I mean, it is, but the only thing is it doesn't move back as I want. But like this size graphics card would be essentially, you know, as perfect, because this shroud could basically cover up the entire thing. But, you know, it is what it is on that sense. But like I said, that's installed. Let me throw it into the PC, and let's see how it performs, yeah. Let's go. All right, so I finally have everything installed. So the radiator, the reason why I basically mounted the radiator like this is just the tubing would just be absolutely insane if I essentially mounted the rad, basically flipped it around, mounted it below. But at the end of the day, you know, as long as it's either this orientation or the other orientation, should be absolutely fine in that sense. Now also, you guys could see where is it? That fan over there, it's spinning. I just have the fan itself. These fans just have on like regular standard mode. Like I said, they are PWM. They're like spinning at like 1,000 RPM or something like that. And now just check out how essentially it looks from below. Now you won't see, right? So since I have the back plate, you could keep it as well. I mean, the shroud looks absolutely fine. It doesn't look like it's out of place or whatnot, but I do have it running right now. I'm just going to show you guys idle temps. The installation process was, you know, it was pretty simple. The wires themselves, just daisy chain all of them. Essentially, you get everything connected, and I have it synchronized here with the with everything here. So you see, with the Asia Horse RAM, or with the RAM heatsinks, which I reviewed, with these fans and all that are basically, you know, running. Right now, the RTX 2070 is an idle at 23 degrees Celsius. Let's turn it up. I do have the power limit turned up all the way. Let's just run Valley. Let's loop it for like an hour and see where do we go. I mean, right now it is pretty impressive. It does look like it's doing a pretty decent job. Let me just put it back on green. But yeah, I mean, show you guys one last time. I mean, that's how it basically looks. If your case is a bit bigger, it'd be easier to move, play around with the radiator orientation because of the tubing. Because if like I said again, if I flip it, the tubing would just low, and it just, you want to make sure your tubing is as neat as possible, guys. But yeah, I mean, she's looking nice. But anyways, let's go. So we have everything running on full load. Check it out, man. This is absolutely insane. So we got maximum GPU temperature at 41 degrees Celsius. This is absolutely insane. This is really wild. 41 degrees Celsius. The fans are not making noise at all. Just the only thing we have the Wraith cooler over here just spinning, doing its damage. But overall, the fans in these settings, like I said, 1000 RPM, they're not making noise whatsoever. It's doing a hell of a job actually cooling the GPU. But now what I want to do is essentially I want to strip the water block, put in the regular RTX 2070 cooler on it, and I want to know the before and after, the difference. But again, we're going to keep it the same exact way. We're going to run the test again for an hour, and we're going to basically see. But like I said, 41 degrees Celsius, absolutely insane. I'm thinking that this card might go up to like 70, between like the 60s and 70s degrees. If that's the case, that'll be absolutely insane. That'll be like 20 to 30 degrees Celsius difference that this cooler is gonna basically put up. But anyways, like I said, let me quickly switch it out, and we're gonna rerun the test, and we're gonna basically see. I mean, it should be absolutely wild. And like I said, I have it synchronized with all the colors with the RGB. Yeah, man. All right, so I installed the RTX 2070 back to its original cooler. Now I am basically just looping it for an hour, the Valley benchmark. So we're basically getting, and of course, and I turned up the temp limit there, we're getting around 60 Celsius. So the maximum we get is 62 Celsius, and it's averaging out on 60 Celsius. So there you guys go. Basically, it's a 20 degrees difference. Now, you know, if I was running a RX 580 or a 590, the temperatures would also drastically decrease. The RTX cards overall do run pretty well. I mean, 60 Celsius is not bad whatsoever. But listen, if you want, you know, if your card is really running hot, or if, you know, 60 Celsius is too much, or if you want to overclock it even more, you know, maybe the ID cooling thing would work for you. Let me know what you cats think in the comments. As always, the installation process is a bit tedious, guys. You know, it took me a little while just to get everything going, but I hope this helped out. I hope to show you cats if this is something, you know, you guys like or something you guys don't like. You know, of course, let me know as always in the comments. But again, overall, it did its job. It actually did lower the temperatures. As always, guys, I'm KosherTech. I'm going to catch you cats next time. Deuces.